Hey everyone, Mike and Aubrey here from Simplify Abroad, and we had a really interesting question come our way, which was basically how good would your state soccer team, football team, right, be if you only could choose players from that state? So only soccer players from Ohio, only soccer players from Florida, only soccer players from Texas. And the question kind of came to us because that is exactly what a region of Spain does, and really a town, a city in Spain does, with the Athletic Club, right? If you guys are not familiar, Athletic Club is the professional team in La Liga from Bilbao, from the main city Bilbao. It is probably my favorite city in Spain. I don't know about yours. Yeah,
it's one of my top.
Yeah,
sure.
like something that we'll kind of let Aubrey touch on a little bit. But this team has never been relegated. It's only Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Athletic Club have never been relegated ever in La Liga. And they only take players from the Basque region. All right. Now we'll talk about that a little bit, some of their training methods and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about some of their training methods. Aubrey's going to try and, can't tell you guys why we love Bilbao so much. Anyone kind of considering Spain and stuff. It is a really, really, I think, amazing city. I'll kind of let Aubrey touch on that from there.
Yeah. So Bilbao is in the north of Spain. And honestly, we love the north of Spain. Pretty much everywhere we have visited in the north of Spain, it's just beautiful. We absolutely love it. It's super green. The beaches are amazing. It is one of the largest cities in northern Spain.
If not the largest, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is the largest one. But overall, it is an absolute beautiful, beautiful city. Now, during that first year we moved here, I think we were kind of figuring out, okay, where are we going to live? And Bilbao was on our list, and we even went to visit, and we loved it. We were even looking at it and doing the scouting
trips.
We went to go scout it out. And then after about a year and a half here, the kids were like, no, we're happy here. All four were like, this is it. So we're like, okay. And the thing is, we love Valencia.
Yep.
We just prefer a little bit more of the greenery and the north, and him being from an ocean, or from Hawaii, you have the ocean there. So it just felt a little more like home.
Yeah, the rain was nice.
To you. Not to me.
I was the only one probably. Spaniards are going to say it rains so much. It does rain a lot compared to Valencia, but Valencia rains 50 times a year, maybe. It's not much. You get 300 days of sun in Valencia. I don't think it was as bad as Portland, Oregon, or something like that, or Seattle, but it does rain more. I'm not going to argue that.
But he's used to a rainy city. Yeah. So the city he's raised in, it rained almost every day.
To hop onto the next thing, the training. So this is where it gets really interesting. As I kind of mentioned, if you're thinking how good could just Ohio be, just Florida be, just Texas be, and again, taking all the way up to adult players, like a first team type of thing. I think what makes Athletic Club so cool is they've never been relegated in La Liga, like we mentioned. They're playing in La Liga. I'm not trying to shit on MLS or anything like that, but and the MLS has gotten a lot better. But La Liga versus the MLS, you can't really compare, right? And so to be one of the few teams that have never been relegated, we had kind of looked into their training methods, because again, we actually thought about moving up there and stuff. And if you guys hadn't seen in a previous video, one of our boys had made Levante. And so we're kind of comparing with a friend of ours whose son had made kind of a feeder team for Athletic Bilbao. And what was really interesting is we just found out that our son starts in about a month for Levante. He's going to have 3 practices a week and a game. At Athletic Bilbao, they don't even have what is U9 now? They don't even I think they start at U9 or so, because he's 8 right now. But really, they only practice twice a week. Levante is going to practice 3 times a week. I've heard Real Sociedad even does 1 to 2 times a week. They don't really do that. So they practice less when they're younger, because they're very conscious of burnout and stuff like that. 2, we did find out that they kind of get, I don't want to call it an illegal training session, but the Basque region kind of gets together on a Sunday or a non-game day to sneak an extra practice in. Yeah, it's unofficial, but they do try to sneak an extra practice in for the kids who want it. What's really interesting is, especially some kids from Bilbao do this, and the drive's not that much further, but our friend who had made this feeder club for Athletic Bilbao, they basically kind of cross the border into France sometimes in practice, because he lives in San Sebastian, where Real Sociedad is, and they kind of cross the border a little bit. So they do try to get extra practices, but in general, the Basque region seems a lot more set on club teams take the kids from the beginning. Then as you get older, then you finally get 1 to 2 practices a week, mainly 2. Then you get some of these illegal practices. They're not totally illegal, right? And then as you get onto 11 on 11, it's full blown club season. Like it's training like all the other teams do. It was just really interesting because even last year at U8 or whatever it was, Levante had a team, Valencia had a team, Valencia CF, and Bilbao would even have that basically at that age, which is kind of cool. So wanted to share a little of the difference there. And again, the biggest thing about them is they only grab from that region, right? They only grab from that region. We're going to talk about this later, but they only take from that region, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So,
and I have to say, Bilbao in general is a little bit more expensive, especially it's more expensive than Valencia. When we were looking for homes, just rental prices, even like food prices, everything, it is a little bit more expensive in the north. I even think for school, when we were looking for schooling as well, that was a little bit more pricey.
I wouldn't say as bad as Barcelona or Madrid.
No, but still.
But it's more expensive.
Yeah, it is more expensive. And then the rain, it is very rainy. But I think coming from Valencia, being here so long, a little bit of rain sounds quite nice sometimes.
Yeah, it really
it's
does.
just nice, even just for the dogs and stuff to cool down the pavement and everything. I
mean, I think right now the summer weather, it's cooler up there than here.
Yeah, the summer weather is pretty brutal. So the north is quite nice. Now, I don't know about the winter because we never went in the winter. So I can't say anything about that. But in general, though, the beaches are beautiful. The beach is absolutely gorgeous. Kind of when you go there, you're just like, oh, it's so nice. Even like the city beach, when we took the metro out there, we were like, wow, this is so beautiful. And then you drive a little bit more.
Spent half a day walking on it. Yeah.
It's so gorgeous. It's super, super pretty.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to add anything to that, just being from Hawaii, the beaches in general don't impress me in most places, I would say. Never. And the north of Spain was the first one where I was like, oh, these are pretty nice. Like they're obviously, I think they're connected to the Atlantic Ocean and everything. So a little bit colder, but it's pretty nice. Very pretty. They're worth your guys' time if anyone can see and go there. My last kind of point I want to touch on is some of the skill level and stuff of the kids in Athletic Bilbao. And so I'm not going to act like we know everything or anything like that. Our son last year, our oldest son, got to play in a tournament where they actually finished like the top 10 or something, didn't they? Yeah. They lost right before they got to play Real Madrid. So it was a little unfortunate because of all things, Marcelo's son was actually on that team. So that would have been really fun. But the Athletic Bilbao feeder team had lost the round right before our oldest son's team had lost. Mm-hmm. What we had kind of seen from them is, I would argue, so again, last year, our son did not play on a professional team, was not Levante. And then this year, he does play on Levante. So there is a difference, but it was a top not professional team in Valencia versus the Athletic Bilbao feeder club team. So again, they didn't always play together and stuff like that. They kind of put them together. What we tended to notice was the skill level, I thought, of some of the Athletic Bilbao players were better than most of the players, not my son's team last year, the non-professional team. Individually, I thought their skill level was better.
It was.
Teamwork wise, there was almost zero. And I don't know if it's because they threw that team together. I'm sure that like I said, they kind of forced all these players together. The teamwork, cohesion, however you want to word it, it was not the same level. Maybe you can touch on this. You saw them play a little more. Yeah,
I would say individually though, they were way better. Yeah. They were especially than our team. They were way better. Yeah. But I feel like our team has a very good system and the system works for our team, even if the individual talent is a little bit less than others. Yeah. Because they work so well with each other. They move with the ball, where I felt like, but the other team, the individual skills were so good, but then they would pass it and then no one was there.
They just weren't on the same page.
Yeah. And I do think if you had more training or training together, it wouldn't have been close. It would have been a blowout for sure.
And now I just want to say again, our non-professional team went further, one round further than this professional feeder club team. But again, it was purely the cohesion of the team. It was not the skill level of the team. So because we get asked that a lot, is like, because I do think Valencia is pretty good. They're not as good as Barcelona or Madrid, but they do well. They can hold their own. Mm-hmm. When we play smaller teams from Malaga or Alicante or Granada, we in general tend to win. I would say our non-professional versus their non-professional. But I just want to say that even though they're training a little bit less than us and the weather's maybe not as good up there and stuff like that when they're training, the teams are still very strong. Like the talent was very, very strong. So whatever their coaches are doing is clearly working.
Yeah.
And then kind of the last thing that I kind of want to touch on is the reason the state question keeps coming back up is the first team only pulls from this region. I say only like this because they are a little lax. Every now and then they'll let a stud player come from somewhere where like they're 16 years old or something like that. And you live in the region for 2 years and then you can get promoted. But in general, they still try to make you come from this region, which is, I think the fact that they can consistently, well, one, never be relegated, but consistently be a top half team. I think they even won the Copa here in Spain Copa del Rey, a couple years ago. They had a huge thing. I'm almost positive they did. They still can win trophies. They still can make the Champions League, the Europa League, stuff like that, only grabbing from this tiny region. Do they even have 1 million people in that region?
I'm not actually sure.
Yeah, it's not many.
Very strong. Very strong.
So, that's just something we wanted to touch on is the fact that it's such a unique situation and their training is a little different. The individual talent is clearly there. Mm-hmm. And this unique situation of only grabbing from this region was so cool. We just kind of wanted to share it because we actually got to play them last year. Yeah. Again, a feeder team. And maybe Levante will get to play them this year. We're looking forward to it. It's just such a unique situation. We want to share it with everyone. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then for me, I guess I'll finish up with talking a little bit more about Bilbao. The food was really good. We loved the pinchos. They were absolutely amazing. And I'm trying to remember like which kinds up there, but I just remember the food was absolutely wonderful. We actually took our daughter, just the three of us went up there and it was awesome. She is a big foodie person as well. And so the whole time she was very excited. It was a great little trip. And then the little suburb, I think it's a suburb, you want to call it.
Like a town, I guess, of Bilbao.
That we loved so much was called Getxo. I think it's called Getxo.
I think we're saying it right. Mm-hmm.
It is so adorable. Yeah. We spent a very long time just exploring. We would just like walked up and down every little street. This suburb, this town, I don't even know if you call it a city. I don't know what you call it, but it was amazing. Mm-hmm. I wish we could live there because it is so, it was one of those towns that were just so breathtaking. It just, I don't know, everything about the flowers on all the homes. It was very beautiful.
Was it maybe 10 minutes metro to the city center?
It was very close.
It was close. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the closest, one of the closest cities by metro, or towns, I should say, by metro to the main city. But you could see the beach from like the hill you were on, basically.
I mean, and it has everything you need too. Because I mean, we were going into bookstores. We bought some books and stuff from there. We were going in all the little shops. And honestly, it's one of the towns that we remember the most of all of our trips that we've taken. That one really just sticks out to us. And we always talk about it. No matter who we're talking with, we're like, have you gone here? Because it's it's one of those towns you just remember and you love being there.
Our friend who moved to San Sebastian, we actually recommended Getxo instead, and because we loved it so much. And
they liked it too, but ultimately they decided somewhere else. Yeah. And then as many cities in Spain, in Valencia, it's very easy to walk and the public transportation is fantastic. Yep. It's very well connected. I mean, I just think if you're coming from the United States to come to here, public transportation is phenomenal in every part of Spain, to be honest. Yep. I think it's great. So I don't have anything bad to say.
I mean, and that's we just wanted to wrap this up. We kind of want to blend this really unique football situation with this amazing city that we loved. The only two downsides we have to mention real quick, and really one big downside, and I'm going to say this word incorrectly. As we have mentioned in previous videos, one reason we had not chosen Barcelona is because we were afraid of Catalan being like a very prominent part of the language, and our kids having to learn Catalan and Spanish.
Yeah.
In the Basque region, they do have, I think it's called Euskera. I think I'm saying that correctly. That is their version of the like a language up there. It is not close to Catalan. Like at least Catalan, I can understand a little bit. Valenciano, like we've lived here long enough, I can get the general idea of where this is going. I have no idea where Euskera is going, and so because of that, I've heard maybe Bilbao isn't as strict on it. I know Real Sociedad, San Sebastian is a bit more strict on it. So just something, if anyone's thinking about it, one, the really cool thing is if anyone moves there, if the talent is good enough, they pull from the first team only from this region, right? That's a great access. That's a great pipeline to the first team in La Liga. Like that's amazing. But if you're moving there younger, you do have to learn. And obviously some of the weather things, I think from people from the States, that's not going to maybe bother, or definitely from the UK, not going to bother you as much. But if you're from Spain, just something to consider. So other than that, that's kind of all we have for this video. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Adios.
Adios.